Welcome to the Enigma Daily, everybody, Monday edition. And I feel like we should get the week started off on a high note, so we're going to jump into a fun topic that just came out. The fourth Loch Ness Monster sighting of 2025 was reported over the weekend, and it's absolutely amazing. And before you click away and totally dismiss this, I'm about to bring you some serious receipts that something strange is going on with inside that loch up in Scotland. So first, here's the article, as always, which will be in the description of the video. You can go down there and check it out. Coast to Coast AM. Headline says it all. Fourth official Nessie sighting recorded in 2025. And as you scroll down there and click on the link and take it out, it's by this man named Tim Binal. Hope I pronounced that name right. And it is absolutely amazing. There's never been this many Nessie sightings in 1 year, dating back as far as I could tell, 1934. And I'm going to get into some things about the Loch Ness Monster because it's just a fun topic to talk about. And on Friday, we talked about a fairly heavy topic that's getting a lot of conversation started on the channel about the rapture. So today, let's have a little bit of fun about the Loch Ness Monster. This story comes out. The witness describes seeing a long, dark figure gliding across the loch near this place called Lochend, followed by ripples unlike any boat wake. And what threw him off was that the sighting was actually so massive, it freaked him out and put him in like a little state of shock. You know, like he's had some experience there. It's very, goes along with a lot of some of the other reported stories that come out about the Loch Ness Monster. People are taken back by it because all of a sudden the water's calm, then it's big and ripply. Next thing you know, this long serpentine neck is sticking out of it, right? Now, this is actually a very, very credible story because it was accepted into this database that they have over there. Let me get this right, man. The Loch Ness Sightings Register. And in order to get into this Loch Ness Sightings Register, you have to have extremely, extremely credible proof of it. I've seen the picture. Sorry, I can't use the picture for right now for copyright reasons because, like I said, this came out literally on the 23rd. But however, if you go and read this article, click in there a little bit, you'll be able to find it yourself. Once that is kind of public use, when it gets out there, I'm going to grab it and I'll throw it up in the post sections for you, right? Now, a lot of people want to come and tell you that the Loch Ness Monster is not real. Some people love it. They call it Nessie. They tell you to leave Nessie alone. Skeptics will always try to use the term like, you know, just waves, just optical illusions, logs, all kinds of crazy stuff in there. But this cryptid encounter, this specific cryptid, the Loch Ness Monster, has almost as much recorded data on it as the Duende or the Bigfoot. A lot of people think that Bigfoot has the most reported sighting. It's not. It's actually this thing called a pugwudgie, a Duende, a gnome, really has the most throughout decades, centuries worth of reports of these little creatures, right? And another thing about the loch that's extremely important to point out is that for decades, I'm telling you, that sonar scans have picked up strange anomalies in this loch. And I'm going to give you some context about what the loch really is, right? The loch is a massive, massive water deposit in Scotland, right? It's about 23 miles long, and it's stretched from this place called Fort Augustus all the way down to this other place called Inverness. I'm sorry, it's in the Scottish Highlands, right? So I'm trying not to butcher this. At its widest point, it's about 1.5 to 2 miles long at its widest point. 23 miles long, 1.5 miles wide at its widest point. Now, here's what gets it. It's the depth. The depth is 788 feet or 240 meters for the people on the metric system there. And it is the deepest lake in the UK. Deepest, right? It has about 26.3 billion cubic feet of water. And this is what's crazy about the loch. It has more fresh water than every other lake combined in the United Kingdom together. The loch is massive, right? And because of the sheer size of it, it's very, very, very hard to, you know, do any type of pinpoint testing, right? The waters are so deep that visibility from the top is only ever about like 10 feet, right? And here's 3 other things that I found very interesting, that's very strange about the loch before I tell you another fascinating thing about it. The Loch Ness plunges to an incredible depth of 788 feet, right? That's deeper than the North Sea, right? And many parts of the North Sea, because it's step size, massive volume of water. They think that it has caves along the edges for where this water flows in and out, that it goes up underneath it, even has more water underneath it. It's pretty impressive, right? And the reason why they think that is because the Loch never freezes, ever. Never freezes, right? Which is very unusual because it gets really, really, really cold in Scotland, right? So they're thinking that somewhere underneath the lake is another body of large water that has some type of heat source to it. And that heat source kind of always keeps the water above it when it flows through at kind of a, an unfreezable temperature, right? The third and final one is that in 1954, there was a massive fishing boat called the Rival 3, and it detected a large, massive object at a consistent depth, 400 feet below this fishing boat in the loch. It was picking up this large sonar ping underneath it, straight down, and it was massive, way, way, way bigger than the boat. And the mass followed it for basically a half a mile, right? It rose up real quick, and then it completely shot all the way down, going below 480 feet, where they could no longer, keep up with it. And that's not the first time that these type of strange situations have happened in this loch. Now, we know that the earth flooded once upon a time. No one debates that anymore. Not even the lying mainstream media, lying scientists, nothing like that. The great deluge took place. The biblical flood happened. Every single ancient society has a flood legend. All of them, from Japan to India. They all have them, right? And we know that species that are often determined to be extinct just have a habit of showing back up. So the Loch Ness Monster, or Nessie, however you want to call it. I don't like calling it the Loch Ness Monster because it's just too fun to call it Nessie. In my opinion, 100% is a remnant of some type of prehistoric or ancient sea creature. I'll leave it at that, right? I'm not going to try to pronounce and butcher the name of what the dinosaur would be called. But in my opinion, that's what it is. I actually don't think it's some type of biblical, Nephilim watcher creation or whatever. I just think it's something that's incredibly old, and that once upon a time when the earth was flooded, all the sea creatures were just scattered all over the earth. When the waters descended, these bad boys were stuck somehow in the loch, and they used these cave systems within the loch to travel in and out wherever they're going, right? Another thing I think is a possibility that this might be is if that, I think about 2 years ago, Russian scientists discovered that there was more water inside the crust of the earth than all the combined water on the surface. And that's massive because the earth is like 75% water. So there's more water inside the earth than on the outside of the earth. And it makes sense when you read the Bible, how it says that when the flood started, the waters came out of the earth, from the heavens, all that stuff, right? So the water was shooting up from inside the earth, which actually, in my opinion, caused the tectonic plates to split apart and rip the continents apart. That's why Florida has gopher wood that was used to make the ark, but the ark was not in where modern day Florida is today. Go look it up. So this is actually, I think, falls into not a cryptid creature, but actually falls under legitimate cryptozoology. I think that the Loch Ness Monster is something that is actually just a remnant of a long species that we have written off as being, gone, out of play. And in 1934, the most famous, there was a blurry drone footage, and blurry drone footages have been taken recently, but as early as 1934, people were getting the old, black and white photos from it, right? And also they have discovered some type of unexplained DNA that's in those waters that doesn't match anything on our database. That doesn't mean it's something new. That just means it's probably something extremely old that we don't know anything about. Either way, it's fun. It's exciting. One more time, here it is right now. 4th official sighting of Nessie in 2025. Click the article. Go in there and dig deep into it. It's pretty fun. I enjoyed it. And again, let's get our Monday started right. And if you haven't noticed, we're not live. I had some appointments I had to do, so I had to get out and about. So I pre-recorded this to upload it to you guys. But you know how we do. leave any thoughts you might have in the comments on what you think they might have found, what Nessie might really be, or what the explanation could be. And give this video a subscribe and a thumbs up. If you don't like what we did, give us a thumbs down and tell us how maybe we can improve the content along the way, because we are a brand new channel. We're the sister channel of the Ancient Enigma Files. That's where we do all of our long form content. We're well established over there, and we're trying to get established over here. So subscribe and a thumbs up doesn't cost you anything, but helps this channel out immensely with our reach. So until next time, or actually, I'll see you guys tomorrow when we're live, and we're out.
Subscribe now and turn on the notifications to join us on this extraordinary journey into the unknown.